UT Martin head coach Jason Simpson. The team is coming off its open date this week, back in action at EIU on Saturday afternoon. So, Coach, give us some general thoughts, and we'll go to some questions.
Good. Yeah, we hopefully the open week came at a good time. Or we can capitalize on it. It was good. We practiced twice last week. Players had some Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Back to work yesterday. So getting ready for this last month, and to continue to compete in the conference race. And so obviously got a tough challenge this week on the road going to EIU.
All right, we'll go to some. We'll let Dan. You can go ahead with your questions first.
I just want to ask you in general about the EIU run game, and then also, what's the challenge of a running quarterback as far as, facing that defensively?
Yeah. I'll answer the second part first. You're playing 11 on 11, instead of, 10 on 11, the math of it, right? So that makes it more difficult. You always have to account for the quarterback. You can't just, sometimes you can not, whoever's responsible for the quarterback can maybe cheat it and, not follow the bootleg or, we've had some quarterbacks here that were not runners in the past. And, there's trade-offs, right? Maybe you're better in the pass game and stuff, but you always wish you could get the numbers back in the run game. So, our guys, we try to include him in the run game and make people play 11 on 11 assignment football because somebody has to have the quarterback in the different run schemes. So that's the challenge that you face with EIU, and we hope there's times that we put people in some binds as well.
I've asked a couple of the other coaches about Mason Miller, Eastern's punter, who I think I looked this morning, I think he's ranks third nationally. Um, what's impressed you about him?
Well, I don't know that I've dug that deep into it yet, but I know over the years it seems like Eastern's had some good punters. I don't remember. I've placed 20 Eastern teams over the years, but I remember one time we played them, and I don't know. I can't even remember the kid's name, but I remember it was. I don't know. It seemed like it was 70-yard bombs, and then you get up there in the wind, and the guy's just flipping the field. So that's a problem, right? I mean, one. I think I saw the wind's going to be like 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, which is, kind of normal. So it's a problem, right? Kicking into the wind, right? And the ball doesn't turn over. So that's tough on your punt return guy and your kickoff return guys. And then, then vice versa when they got the wind at their back. So, that's part of the game, part of the elements.
I got one more for you, and then I'll turn over to Kyle.
Mhm.
Um, how do you feel about the change in the transfer portal at going to the January only window?
I do, just my personal feelings. I do like the fact that there's only one. Okay. I mean, it kind of lets you, at least you know what you're dealing with, the middle of the year. Um, so I think that's, it's a good change for the programs. But man, you talk about a mad scramble. What is that from January the 2nd to the whatever it is? And all of us are probably trying to fill, I would think, a minimum of 20 spots. So what do you got? Probably maybe 8 to 10 kids a day coming in here, for about 10 days to come in here because you're trying to get them in before school starts to get them here for your spring semester. So yeah, that's a tough deal, man, to have a couple phone conversations and have a kid on campus 24 hours at the most, right? And they're sleeping, 8 hours of that. And so you're trying to get to know them and, make good decisions of this is a good fit for them. That's difficult.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Coach,
You
I mean,
too.
you all had a win before the open date, but just having that open date, is it? I mean, not rejuvenated because you're all, whatever. Does it just feel even better, just like to be fresh entering this week's action?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we played a lot of football. You go back all the way back, all of us, I'm sure, in the league. You go back to June and July and, August, September, October, so, you're almost 5 months into this, and that's a lot of ball, a lot of reps and stuff. So, hopefully it gave guys mental and physical breaks, allowed us to catch up on some recruiting and get on the road and stuff. So, like I said, it's great as long as you take advantage of it, then you can say it did come at a good time.
And I know transfer the properties, team A, B, team B, whatever, but you beat a team, Gardner Webb, and then they went and were very impressive against Lindenwood. Does that make it seem like, your win was even more impressive? Although, I mean, it was by itself, but does that seem to see good a team you beat well go do well?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's what you hope, or you say, well, you're kicking yourself. I mean, I think Lindenwood's got a good team, or did we just play really bad that day? I think it's a combination of both. I think I didn't watch the Gardner Webb Lindenwood game. But no, it was a little surprising. Yeah. But once again, I'm sure Gardner Webb felt the same thing about our game, right? Probably thought maybe we're a little bit better than they thought, and maybe they didn't play as well as they had hoped. So it seems to be that all of us, there's probably about, 5, 6, 7 teams that seem to be very, very, talents very similar, and kind of who plays the best that day. So pretty competitive year.
Well, I think that's all we got for you this morning, Coach. Appreciate your time. Best of luck Saturday, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.